Welcome back. Ugh, my back, getting old. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Finally get to review the 2022 Santa Cruz Bronson. This year, the Bronson got a whole remake. What the Bronson is a 27.5 Pacific bike with a 160 fork and 150 mil travel in the back. Had the same lower link design, the previous one, which I had medium and a large. It's a great bike, but it was missing something with the rear suspension. But this thing, totally different animal. So if you didn't know, now the new Bronson, the 2022, is a mixed wheel or mullet setup. That means it's got a 29er front tire and a 27.5 rear tire or rim, and it's still got the 160 fork and 150 millimeters of travel. So when I saw this, when Santa Cruz put it out, I was a little bit worried that they were going to ruin the Bronson. Reason to have the Bronson or have it in Santa Cruz's lineup, I believe, was it's like do-it-all trail bike. You know, you could take it to your local trails and still have fun on it. It doesn't feel like you're overbiked, or you can bring it to the bike park and you don't feel like you're underbiked. It did everything pretty well. So I was a little scared that they were going to ruin it, but glad to report they didn't. So this Pacific Bronson I have is provided by Bike Barn Racing. This is not my bike, it's a demo bike. Go check out Bike Barn Racing in Whitman, Massachusetts to get yourself a Bronson. They got plenty of bikes in stock, Santa Cruz, Specialized, Trek, other bikes too, but we're just going to talk about this Bronson today. So this is the R build C-frame, so it's the lowest, or I should say cheapest build kit on a carbon frame. The C frame's probably like 250, 300 grams heavier than the CC frame. And the R kit comes with NX Eagle, aluminum cranks, the RockShox, just Lyric select fork, and the Floatex shock. No adjustment on really anything, just a basic compression and rebound on it. Which is fine because the tune on it is actually really good, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So this R kit comes with a NX Eagle drivetrain, aluminum cranks, RockShox Lyric select front fork, and Floatex, the new Floatex from Fox. Not much adjustment on the suspension, but out of the box felt pretty good. Just set the pressures and the rebound, and it was good to go. I rode it with the compression wide open. Really fun, really easy to ride. So with that, we'll just get in how it rides. So climbing on the Bronson, it's not a chore. It pedals right up the hill. I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, this thing's gonna be a pig. It weighs 33 pounds, 34 pounds. And it's just got kind of, you know, gets you up the hill that quick. It's not the fastest bike up the hill, but it's not inefficient by any means. I could definitely ride the new Bronson all day. I was really surprised how high it sits in its travel, but still has a supple off the top suspension feel. So if you're just going over a little chattery terrain, it kind of just buffs that all out. So really nice pedaler, even through the flatter, flow your XC trails between the descents I was doing. It was just handling it. It's the kind of bike that you just don't think about. You forget about it's underneath you. And the weird thing is, when I was riding it, you know, through the flatter terrain, looking down at it, it has pretty slack head tube angle, about 64.5 degree head tube angle in the low position, which I rode it in. I thought it'd be really raked out and hard to turn through the tight switchbacks and all that stuff, but it wasn't. It's not because it had a 27.5 wheel in the back. It's actually the 29er wheel up front looked like a smaller wheel. It was weird. Can't put my finger on it, but it's it rides like the old Bronson still. It turns like the old Bronson. But once I reached the descents, this is where the Bronson kind of woke up. I was really surprised how capable it was. I mean, I really didn't ride that gnarly terrain. I guess, or it would be nice, I could bring it to a bike park once they open up and the snow melts. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna be ripping it on my local trails. And it feels really good. You know, some Mullet bikes I've ridden, like the Specialized Status, once you got it above a certain speed, I don't know what it was, but let's call it 20 miles an hour, you could feel it start getting really twitchy because the back end was really short chain stays. This one's got a 436, so it's not terribly long, but it's not terribly short. It just feels just right at home on like high speed stuff. And the awesome thing is, when you reach something like if you need a manual over or get the front end up over it, it's still easy to pivot on the back wheel. It's just really, I can't manual, but getting the front wheel up is really easy, not a chore on this bike. Also, what surprised me about the new Bronson is just how usable it is. It's just a very versatile bike to ride anywhere. I felt like I've ridden it a couple of rides. Some rides were just kind of mellow and more pedally, and it felt fine. and then I did a couple longer descents and some jumps and stuff like that, and didn't feel out of place at all. And the bike is very easy to ride. It's a very intuitive bike. Once you sit on it, you make your adjustments with the handlebars and the brake levers and the saddle height, you're good to go. It's just a very easy bike to ride. And what really surprised me about this new Bronson is I thought it would be like sacrificing something. You got a little teeny wheel in the back. That means I'm not going to get the rollover and the speed of like a full 29er. Or it's going to be too slack, so it's going to be kind of lazy in the turns. Or it's going to be unstable at speed, or it's not going to turn well because it still has a longer chainstay, not that short like chainstay like on the Specialized Status. So it's not really going to carve up the turn. So it's just going to kind of be this, half-ass bike thrown together, and it's just not going to blend well. The reality is it rides like a full 29er bike or a full 27.5 bike. I feel like there's no give here. People looking at the new Bronson thinking that it's going to be a total jib bike. It's not, which I think is a good thing, because you ride the 5010. It's a great bike. It pedals well. It's fun on the jumps and going through turns, but it doesn't carry speed like a full 29er, and it doesn't feel as capable. The new Bronson still feels almost like the 5010 through the turns, but it keeps the speed up through the flats or through the faster descents, and it feels capable. I'd love, like I said, to get this thing to a bike park and see what it can do. But what really impressed me about the new Bronson is just like the ability to jump and do like drops without the tire buzzing my butt. I'm 5'10", so I'm not a tall guy. But I like to ride large frames or even medium frames with, longer reach values. And when I do ride bigger bikes, and for me to get my weight, way back on a longer or a steep descent or a steep roll, I always buzz the tire on my butt. My butt buzzes the tire. But with the Bronson, man, the only thing that was buzzing is the saddle, because the drop wasn't enough. But doing jumps and stuff like that, really easy, real easy bike just to move around and move side to side. Really nice. Oh, it looks like we got a visitor. Maisie, the trail pup, trying to get in the video. Things I don't like about the Bronson, on this R build, probably the only thing I'd actually change right away is the brakes. It comes with the G2Rs, which are just guide brakes, let's get real. Just not enough power, even though they're 4-pot. At the end of like the little descents I have here in my local trails, like 300 feet down, they were cooking. You're pulling the levers right to the bar. It just can't handle it. The higher end builds come with code, or you can get the XT build, the Shimano build with the XT brakes, but that's the only thing I'd probably only change on it. It comes with 200 mil rotors. The drivetrain works fine. The NX is just a little heavier. But as parts broke on this R build, I'd probably just replace them with a little higher end stuff, like probably change the cassette to a lighter one, and the wheels eventually. But everything held together really well. Really quiet bike, and just like all the other Santa Cruz bikes, really stout frame, well built. Lifetime warranty on the frame and the bearings, so that is sweet. But things I love about the Bronson is just the balance of it. It felt like when I get on the bike, where I see it like visually, it doesn't look balanced because you got this little wheel in the back and this big wheel in the front. But when you actually ride it, you don't notice that it's a mixed wheel bike like other bikes. Like when I mulleted my my Specialized Evo, it still felt like, it didn't feel as balanced as it was a full 29er. Even though I had the link that actually converted it to a mullet bike and it kept the geo the same, it still just didn't feel right. This feels like it's designed to be a mullet, which it is. Santa Cruz took the time and engineered it properly, but it just feels like you're just riding a normal everyday trail bike, and the usability is still there. I was worried that the Bronson would become something else, but it is still the Bronson, guys. It's still that trail bike that you can kind of ride everything. And with that, this is the end of the review. And guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Please leave your questions in the comments below. I'll make sure I get back to you. Thanks for watching. Can put some more miles on the Bronson, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.